Well, good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream, and I'm going to do the May 22nd just for today in a meditation. You should see the smile that just came on my face. Well, I want to wish Gwendolyn a very, very happy birthday. Enjoy your day. Okay, May 22nd, the title of the meditation, Symptoms of a Spiritual Awakening. The steps lead to an awakening of a spiritual nature. This awakening is evidenced by changes in our lives. We know how to recognize the disease of addiction. Symptoms are indisputable. Besides an uncontrollable appetite for drugs, those suffering exhibit self-centered, self-seeking behavior. When our addiction was at its peak of activity, we were obviously in a great deal of pain. We relentlessly judged ourselves and others and spent most of our time worrying or trying to control outcomes. Just as the disease of addiction is evidenced by definite symptoms, so is a spiritual awakening made manifest by certain obvious signs in a recovering addict. We may observe a tendency to think and act spontaneously, a loss of interest in judging or interpreting the actions of anyone else, an unmistakable ability to enjoy each moment, and frequent attacks of smiling. If we see someone exhibiting symptoms of a spiritual awakening, we should be aware that such awakenings are contagious. Our best course of action is to get close to these people. As we begin having frequent, overwhelming episodes of gratitude and increased receptiveness to the love extended by our fellow members, and an uncontrollable urge to return this love, we'll realize that we too have had a spiritual awakening. Just for today, my strongest desire is to have a spiritual awakening. I will watch for its symptoms and rejoice when I discover them. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. What a beautiful meditation. I read the title of the meditation. Now it's like symptoms. That makes it sound like it's so negative. How can they use the word symptoms? I want to see where this goes. And in the body of the meditation, it lets us know these are signs, right? Just like a sickness that a person would have. Usually they know they're sick by the way they feel. A symptom is a sign that something is not, well, and not necessarily wrong, but in this case, we're talking about a disease. We're talking about the disease of addiction. So the symptom is going to give warning or tell the individual, you may have something wrong with you. It appears that you do. What is that? Using drugs, lying, cheating, staying out at all odd hours of the night, ending up in an ambulance or ER because we've overdosed and can't remember what's happened in the last, few hours. No one wants to be bothered with me. You show up at your parents' house, and the first thing they want to know at the door is, what do you want? It's not like they're going to allow you to come in. And if they do, you have a designated place where you can either stand or sit. And if you need a shower or some food, they may or may not give you an opportunity to do that. I know some people, they can go to the door and let their family know they're hungry, but they're not coming in. You go in, someone follows you all around the house because they can't trust you. They cannot trust you because either you're going to hit the purse, you're going to hit the safe, you're going to hit a drawer, steal some jewelry, go in the bathroom, nod out, hold the bathroom hostage, right? They can hear tapping and water running. Yeah, because you're getting high in the bathroom and they don't want to be bothered with you, right? So that's what, symptoms of the disease of addiction. Now, and I haven't even talked about picking up the drug. That's a symptom, most definitely. And the inability to stop picking it up. And if we push past all of the physical stuff and go into the mental stuff, the way that we think, how we process things changes. We've changed our our perception of everything and created an illusion. The sky could be blue and we'll sit there and argue with people about whether or not it's pink. Nothing is accepted by us. Everything is a debate because one half of us is trying to not let other people know that we're using, but they're clearly telling us, you have all the symptoms of the disease of addiction. You need to get some help. You're invited to dinner and think that, oh, this is going to be great. I can maybe get a shower in. I can clean up, at least check on my parents. They're having a family dinner. And I can't believe it. I'm invited. And they haven't been inviting you, but this is a good thing. You get there and everybody shows up and sit down, having a conversation. You're thinking this is cool. We're just eating, talking. And before you know it, everybody is taking a turn about letting you know that what you're doing is hurting them and you need to stop. That's an intervention, right? They can see the disease of addiction is active and they've set you up for an intervention because they're tired of your mess and they want you to live instead of dying. They want you to act like you care about something other than yourself. Yeah. And so all of those are symptoms of the disease of addiction. Now, what's symptoms of recovery? What are symptoms of having a spiritual awakening? It says here on page 49 in the basic text, the steps lead to an awakening of a spiritual nature. This awakening is evidenced by changes in our lives. The 12th step tells us that as a result, right, of these spiritual principles work in this program, right? It says, having had a spiritual awakening. By the time you get there, you've had a spiritual awakening. You probably have actually had several, but they lead you somewhere. These are symptoms or signs of change. These are symptoms and signs of recovery. What would that be? One, you no longer pick up the drug and you're no longer creating illusions to make life more manageable for yourself. You're facing your problems as they come up and you're not picking up drugs. You are showing up when you say you're going to do something, you actually show up and do it in a fine fashion, right? People can depend on you not to steal from them. They don't mind leaving their purse around you today because you're a different person. They don't even mind having you over to the house for a real dinner, not an intervention, because they want you and they know they want you there and they know that they can trust you, or at least they think they can, by what they've seen, by seeing your symptoms of a spiritual awakening, your signs that you're recovering. How about you got a job and you can hold it down? Maybe even an education. Maybe you have a vehicle, you're no longer walking around or riding a bike everywhere. How about this? You have a place that you actually pay to live. It's called rent or a mortgage. You have a contract with a landlord or a bank to pay for where you live. You're no longer on a park bench or in a tent city trying to work it out, right? You actually have a place that you live and keep clean, right? You go to meetings, you stay in touch with a sponsor, and you sponsor. Oh, there's so many symptoms of a spiritual awakening. I could go on and on, but I don't need to. The question is, have you had one? I most certainly have. And I want more of them. And you know what? Exhibiting signs of a spiritual awakening, this last paragraph is sweeter than honey. It's contagious. And if you see someone with signs of a spiritual awakening, you need to get as close as possible to them, right? Follow in their footsteps. See what they're doing to have brought about this change and start doing that. Guarantee you, life is sweeter in service. Life is sweeter clean. Life is sweeter with people that you actually love, that love you back and aren't afraid to show you. Oh, what a miracle, right? We are really, really, really living our best lives today. And if you're not, you can be, because you got the same opportunities as anyone else listening. You're in Narcotics Anonymous. Go for it. Shoot for the stars. My name is MightyStream. I've enjoyed talking to you today. I know you are going to, after that, you're going to have a beautiful day on purpose. And you're going to have that because you deserve it. You deserve it. Yes, I'm telling you, you deserve it. Some people struggle with that. They still are in this murky place where they don't believe they deserve all the goodness that's coming into their lives. Imposter syndrome. But you do. You deserve it. So go for it. Talk to you tomorrow.